study by 4 researchers shows how misinformation around COVID-19 has travelled, who are the people sharing it, and how in less than 2 months it has transitioned from health misinformation, which is about fake cures and origin, to communal and xenophobic misinformation, which is targeting a religion or race.
In the beginnings of January to February, there was a lot of cure prevention stories. February to March, there was a transition of death because Italy was the main focus at that time, and there was a lot of stories around speculation around lockdown. And then we move after the Tablighi Jamaat stories came out. That's when we see an increase in Islam and Muslim. We can see that there was a target towards Muslim community themselves, saying that they were the spreaders of coronavirus because of the spitting and the contagion and those kind of stuff.
The study conducted between 23rd of January to 12th of April shows how misinformation travels through various routes, including that of mainstream news channels and politicians.
Politicians in general, the higher-ups in political life did not indulge in a lot of misinformation, whereas politicians lower down the ranks did indulge in explicitly forwarding some messages which were known to be false. The two exceptions were probably the two known exceptions were probably Manish Tiwari of Congress, who made an unverified claim that homeopathy might have cured Prince Charles and that it should be looked at for India, and Subramanian Swamy, who made another unreferenced claim that the Indian strain of COVID-19 is weaker than the global strain.
And it also shows the kind of misinformation these individuals and organizations are sharing. For instance, mainstream news channels were found sharing a lot of culture-related stories, which means stories targeting a particular religion, ethnic group or social group. And in this category, they were found sharing a lot of Muslim or Islam-related misinformation.
If we look at news organizations, we can see there is a lot of culture-related stories that they have shared. So again, taking the communal angle, I mean, there is again a visualization which you can probably see. There are stories on how Muslims are licking fruits to spread coronavirus, or people religiously not using religious reasons to say that we do not want to get tested. We did see a lot of reportage about that on news channels.
The study points out how this category of misinformation relies on photos and videos to evoke an emotional response. It also maps the transition phase and shows at what point did misinformation move from health to targeting a certain community.
One thing which we see is that there is a lot of increase in culture-based and politics and government-based stories, which says to us that there has been an increase or a visible increase, to say, in stories. We can see that there is a lot of misinformation which is intended to be affective around identity and emotion rather than being instrumental in scientifically verified stuff.
There's also a clear pattern highlighting the relationship between news events and misinformation.
After Janata Curfew, or every time there is a PM address, we can see there's a spike in culture and government-related misinformation. Government-related misinformation might come down a bit around the lockdowns because a certain body has instructed this, but there is a lot of increase in cultural stories because there's a lot of cure-based or anything related to the speech that comes out. So the pattern is that after every event is happening, there is an increase in stories, right? So if the Tablighi Jamaat incident happened, 3-4 days next to that, we see related to that. So there is an increase in stories which incite certain fear or emotion or some sort of a belongingness, rather than stories which have, say, wrong statistics of number of deaths or wrong statistics of a location or things like that.
The researchers used a sample of 243 stories which have been debunked by various fact-checking organizations in India, including the Queen's Webkoof Initiative. These organizations are verified by the International Fact-Checking Network, which sets the benchmark and brings fact checkers across the world together.